What's going on, everybody? My name is Alonso. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be teaching you guys how to set up a beginner slackline. I'll also be filming a lot of other slackline videos today, so don't forget, hit that subscribe button down below so you don't miss when those go up. Anyway, let's get started. So before we start this video, if you're new to slacklining and you don't have a line yet, make sure you go check out my other video first. I'll link it here. This video details how to buy your first slackline. You really can't even set up a slackline if you don't own one yet, so you may as well go check that out. I'll link it at the top of the video here. So once you've seen that, make your way back here and then we'll set up that slackline. Now before we start actually setting up our line, let's look at everything we're gonna be using for this slackline setup. So first things first, if you're gonna be rigging on trees in the park, you always wanna have some sort of tree pro. This can range from actual tree pro like these Gibbon ones that I have in my hands here. You can use old t-shirts, old pairs of pants, really just anything to protect our trees. We want to keep this sport accessible wherever we are. Using Tree Pro helps city officials know that we're doing it properly and that we care about the trees we are actually rigging on. Now for our anchors, I'm personally going to be using some industrial lifting slings, also known as span sets. If you bought a kit online like that video I linked in the beginning, you might have something that looks more like a red sling. That's perfectly okay. It really doesn't matter what you use so long as it's strong enough and can actually support the weight of a slackliner. You can use industrial span sets, you can use those red slings, you can use static rope, you can use lots of things. Next we want some sort of webbing. This is what we're actually going to be walking on. It really doesn't matter too much what you use. You can use anything nylon or anything polyester. I like the Type 18. It's a little bit stretchier so it's a little more fun and it's a little bit softer on the foot than the blue in my opinion. So I'm going to be using this webbing to rig today. Lastly, and probably my favorite part about this whole system, is that this is all you need. Normally when we're rigging slacklines, we need a bunch of gear like pulleys and web locks and a line grip, all of which, if you're not familiar or don't know what that is, don't worry about it. I'll cover that later for the more intermediate and advanced slackliners. But essentially, this is going to create both our static anchor and our tensioning system for this line, which is actually really cool because this weighs like nothing. You can travel with it and it's a really nifty system to use. So with that being said, that's all we need, just a little bit of gear. Let's get to rigging. So really quickly, just to summarize everything we're gonna need for this rig, we'll need our tree protection, we'll need 2 anchors, we'll need our webbing, we'll need 3 carabiners. Oval is preferred, but really you can use anything, and we'll need 1 rappel ring. And that is everything you need to set up this system. I really like this system a lot because it's really bare bones, it's really affordable, and it's a really easy way to get beginners into slacklining because you can gift them an entire rig that they can set up all by themselves in a park after watching a video like this one, of course. So with all the gear out of the way, let's actually go over the process of how we put it all together to create a slackline. So we'll start with our anchors. We've got a really pretty tree right here that we're going to use as an anchor. First things first, we want to use our Tree Pro and we want to wrap and protect this tree because we don't want to hurt the trees. With your piece of Tree Pro, it's got a piece of Velcro on it usually. You want to keep the Velcro on the inside and just start wrapping your tree where you want your anchor to go. So I'm going to do that real quick. Tree Pro is pretty nice in the fact that it stays up by itself because it's got that Velcro. You really don't need to do anything about this. So that's the Tree Pro. Next, we put our anchor on it. Now, like I said, this can be pretty much anything you want to use. I'm using a span set. You can use the red slings that Jerry provides. You can use static rope. It's really up to you. There is no wrong answer here. This is a really long anchor and this is a fairly thin tree, so I'm just gonna double it up to make it shorter. Now my anchor is a little bit shorter and I'm just gonna put it around my Tree Pro here. One of the favorite ways for people to do anchors is to do something called a basket hitch, which is where you put the sling around the tree and then you connect it here. Now, this is a great anchor and it's very strong. The problem with it, however, is if I'm gonna let this go to go do something on the other side, I let it go and you see it just falls. So the way I like to mediate and fix this is like this. Pro tip here, this is called a girth hitch. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna put the anchor around the tree just like we did, except this time, instead of joining the 2 ends, I'm gonna put one end through the other end. So I'm gonna put this end through this end like this, and I'm gonna pull that all the way through. Now what this does, it causes this choker. It's called a choker or a girth hitch. And I wanna make sure this is sitting on the tree pro really nicely like that. And then I can pull it so that it's choking itself, just like the name implies. And now, when I let this one go, it just rests on the tree and I can go work on the other side and do whatever I want. So that's the anchor. I'm gonna go do the exact same thing to the other side, and then I'll be right back. We're at our other side now, and we've made our anchor just like we did on the other side. We used Tree Pro and we used the girth hitch. The static side is very simple. We simply want to take a carabiner, clip it through our sewn loop of our webbing, and then clip that carabiner to our anchor here. Make sure if you're using a double wrap span set that you clip both of the points and not just one. And make sure that your carabiner actually closes and doesn't look like this. It's a little tough with how fat this span set is, but it will go. Now, I do want to note, for safety reasons, that we are technically tri-loading this carabiner now because there is a lot of fabric in there and it's going to pull it in every direction. But since we only use these carabiners for park lines anyway, and we would never use them for life safety support, I'm okay with that. Just wanted to make sure that you guys were well aware of that. Now that we've got our static side clipped in, we're all done on this side. We want to take the rest of our webbing over to the other side now so we can start working on our tensioning side. Now this is very important. We don't want to just drag our webbing along the ground here, so what we're going to do, we are going to take the other end of the webbing and start coiling it around our necks. If you climb, you already know how to do this. If you don't know how to do this, I will show you. So you basically take your hands, you got your webbing over here with the tail, grab that tail, stretch it, put it over your neck, grab the tail, stretch it, put it over your neck, and then repeat till you get really fast. And then once we don't have any more webbing left to coil, we simply start walking that way, and the loops will fall off our neck really nicely without ever being dragged in the park. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna go over to that side. I'll see you guys there. With our anchor here and our webbing here, I've got a little less than a meter of distance between my anchor and my webbing where I'm going to make the first line lock. So with that, I don't want it to be too close to the anchor because then we won't have enough room to tension. I also don't want it to be too far from the anchor because then we're going to have too much line that is uncomfortable to walk because it's set up as a pulley system. We've got our webbing here, and here's how we set up our line locker. We're going to want one carabiner and our rappel ring in order to do this. So I'm going to just put the other one off to the side on my pocket here. And what we're going to do, we're going to take our webbing, and again, we're about a meter away from the anchor at full extension. So here's the anchor, here's our webbing. So what we're gonna do, we are going to fold it down like this so the tail's on the bottom. Then we're going to take our rappel ring, I'm gonna put my carabiner off to the side here, and we're gonna pass this is called a bite. We're gonna pass this bite through this rappel ring here. So you can see if it's kind of snug in this one, this is the Slacktivity Oval Link. A regular ring would be a little bit easier. Then we're going to take this bite that we just passed through, we're going to fold it down like this, and then pass it underneath and through again, like so. And like I said, with this Slacktivity ring, it is a bit tough to do this because it is such low clearance, but it definitely goes. What we end up with is something like this. You should be able to count 3 strands of webbing. And what you want to do, you want to stick a carabiner through this loop here. So we're going to do that. We're going to stick the carabiner through all of those. And then when we pull that, another important thing, you'll notice the gate opens toward the webbing right now. We want to flip that all the way around so that the gate opens away. And that's just to make tensioning easier later on, and I'll explain what that's for. So then we pull this, it cinches down nice and tight like so, and we are ready for the next step. So then we take the tail of our webbing, and this carabiner is going to kind of stick up like this. And we grab our anchor, which is right here. We take our other carabiner. Now this part's important. We want to clip this to our anchor, and then we will also want to flip this one so that the gate opens away. Now we want our gates to open in the same direction. Both gates are opening toward me in this case. And here's what we want to do. we want to take our tail of webbing and pass it under and through the carabiner like so. So you can see I'm holding it. I went from beneath and over. Then I'm going to take this tail here, and on this other carabiner, I want to make sure I keep everything flat here. I'm going to go over and under this time. So over and under like so. And then here's where all the magic happens. We want to go under and over again on this side, just like we did. But this time, we're going to tuck that piece of webbing under the last piece of webbing, and this is actually what holds all of our tension. Next thing you want to do is simply pull on this tail until your line is nice and tensioned, and then you are ready to go. So once we have this set up all ready to go, this tail is now underneath this piece of webbing. All we want to do to get this nice and tight is just pull on this piece of tail like this, and all that tension will be held right there. You can see I've got some pretty decent tension now, and I'm going to pull a little harder. And you can see now, if you look at how close my carabiners ended up, this is about what you want. If these carabiners touch, you run out of tensioning space and you can't pull it any tighter. However, if they're too far apart, any space in between these carabiners is really uncomfortable to walk because you're walking on 3 strands of webbing. So this is perfect. We got the right amount of tensioning. The best way to do this is just to kind of experiment with the different lengths. Now we are almost ready to walk. Not just yet, don't get too excited. We have one more step. So the very last thing we need to do is tie off our tail webbing, because this is only tucked under a single piece of webbing. If you got too excited and started walking now, what could happen is over the vibrations and everything that's happening, this could become untucked. And if somebody's on the line when this comes untucked, they fall to the ground. You can twist your ankle, worse, you can break something. You just don't want that to happen. And this is how you avoid that. So we take our webbing. I'm gonna try to turn this sideways as best as possible. And we're gonna do something called a munter mule overhand. So we're gonna take our webbing and we're gonna do one of these loops with it here. And then we're gonna simply take a bite behind and pass it through that loop we just made, like so. So I'm taking a bite here, and I'm gonna take a big bite actually. So it's a pretty big bite. It's about 1 meter long right now. Gonna pull it nice and cinched, and you can see what that looks like right there. And essentially what this is doing, it's creating this munter hitch right next to this carabiner, so that even if this did come unslipped, it wouldn't really matter because the munter will be there to hold tension. And even if the munter became tensioned, we could just pull on this tail to release it. Now, what I'm gonna do just to add friction, I'm gonna do a bunch of half hitches around that. So I'm just gonna keep taking this bite, wrap it around and through itself like that, making a bunch of these really weird looking tie-offs. So I'll do a couple of those. Now if you have an extra carabiner, you can simply take that carabiner, tie it to this tail and clip it off to pretty much anything. And our webbing is now safe. Now you're ready to walk. Go out, enjoy yourself. And when we're done walking, we'll come back and de-rig this line and I'll show you exactly how to do that. By this point, everyone's had their fill. It's time to take the line down. This is probably the easiest part. You simply undo all your backups that we tied earlier. We're back to what we had when we finished tensioning, and the tail is still tucked underneath the other piece of tail, which is exactly what you want. Now to tension, we pulled this way. To detension and de-rig, we simply want to pull the other way, and what that's gonna do, it's gonna force the tail to untuck itself. Sometimes you gotta pull a little hard if you got it super tensioned, but don't worry, grab a friend or two and this will be pretty easy. So simply pull it the opposite way, like so, and now it's untucked and detensioning itself, just like that. So you just detension, and then you can unclip everything, pack everything away, leave everything just how you found it when you got here, and that's it. So in a very big nutshell, that is how you rig a park line with the primitive system. If you guys found this helpful, do me a quick favor, hit those buttons down below, guys. Subscribe so you don't miss when I post. Hit the little notification bell so you're notified when I post something new. I'm posting something every 2 weeks for now, so don't forget to hit those buttons, guys. Also, really quick before this video ends, I want to give a huge shout out to all my patrons here on the screen. Thank you guys so much. All donations go back into making this channel better for you guys. I appreciate all your support. As always, love you guys. See you guys on the next video.